Episode Insight. My guest on this particular episode is the amazing and talented KStar, which is crazy because I've known KStar for a long time as a rapper, and then he transitioned into so many other things. So all those many other things that he transitioned into is what we're talking about on this particular episode. And I'll tell you straight from the beginning, disclaimer, guys, there was a lot of madness. It was a long day. There was a lot happening. You will not judge me. You will not judge me. You know what? Watch the episode. I know exactly what the comments are going to be like. It wasn't my fault. You want to blame anyone? Blame production. Blame KStar. Watch the episode and tell me what you think. What up, guys? How you guys doing? You already know what it is. They call me Young. And yeah, you see, look at my guests. Look at my guests. You know,
I'm on the phone.
He just made my intro even much more epic. I'm gonna talk to his management. This is not how you conduct yourself in a professional setting. How dare?
It's a prank. It's a prank. I haven't seen this guy like.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have the unfortunate. I don't know if I should call it a privilege to be stuck with the unhinged KStar.
The real me.
How you doing, bro?
Bro.
I haven't seen you in such a long time,
Such
bro.
a long time, bro.
Such a long time. Oh, so now you're not a real friend. So it takes a podcast for us to hang out, KStar.
No, bro, but we've been talking the whole time. We talk all the time.
Yeah, but we don't hang out. We don't hang out. I don't see you.
You're the one that was in another country, man. What were you doing over there? I thought this was home.
I can explain. It's not what it looks like. KStar. Oh man, it's good to see you, bro. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think for the perfect intro for you, because when I met KStar, it was music. It was in booths. Funny story.
Mm-hmm.
KStar is one of the first people to get me into studio when I got to Zambia.
Yeah.
You and Webster.
I remember,
yeah. You're actually the first people to get me into studio.
Yeah.
That is crazy, bro. My career was introduced to the Zambian space from this man right here, bro.
Shout out to that, man.
You know what I mean?
We just heard this boy is wild, huh? We thought we were the only wild ones, you know.
You didn't know there's something in the water in other places.
Somebody else.
Snap, man! Like I want to get your intro right, bro. You know what I mean? Artist, comedian.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur. You know what I mean? There's so many things. Voiceover artist.
Yeah.
I mean, actor.
Yeah.
What am I missing out, man? What am I missing out?
Are rappers really poets?
I don't put some respect on our names, dog. Can you believe this guy? Can you believe? What?
Yeah.
Poet.
So we'll put that there. Stand-up comedian.
You know what I mean? Now, before we start, dog, let's go back.
Yeah.
When hip hop was the only way. When hip hop was the only way forward.
It was the only way forward. I'm sure you remember how we'd like just move or travel.
Bro.
That was traveling to get to the studio.
I remember
it wasn't going to the studio. It was traveling.
9 goons in one whip for one session.
All the way to Kafue.
You know what I mean? Just to get it cracking.
Just to get a verse in.
So what was it like for young KStar, man? Because back then it felt like the hip hop dream was a pipe dream. It wasn't what it is now.
Yeah, like you remember the transition, bro, how we transitioned to just rapping in English, just so we could reach out to the masses a little more, you know? We felt like maybe when we, incorporate some local language words, maybe people will listen more to this kind of stuff. Everybody just looked at us like wannabes.
Yeah.
Remember, that's your bodies, but my
shirts that came up to the knees.
All the way to the knees, bro. Yeah.
So, but what was it like for you? Because like I met, now when I think about it, I met Tim through you.
Yeah, you met Tim because Tim was still going to school at that time. Yeah, so when I introduced him to you and the hoster, he was still in high school.
Bro, this is crazy. Guys, like, you know, when I think about it now in hindsight, if it wasn't for KStar, I wasn't going to meet Tim, who then Thaga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to meet the guys I used to record with. My first recording in this country was because of KStar and Webster.
Yeah.
That is wild. You see, I'm giving you flowers. You know, this
It's
job
crazy,
must pay
bro.
me.
It's crazy. Yeah, bro. Like, because before I had met Alkanai and Dope G.
Yeah.
Sam, yeah. And then, like, when you came through, the first time I met you was at the Hostas, I think.
Yeah.
Because your home was much closer to his.
Yeah. I used to stay right near Hoster,
and we watched some battle rap together. Remember that? Loaded Lux. I never forget that.
That's what I knew he's a real one. You know what I mean? When I heard the commentary, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's a real one. He's a real one.
I was like, oh, so these guys watch battle rap too. Like, oh, we've got some serious hip hop rap people here.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome to find people like that. And being around you guys just made it feel like I'm not the only one, you know? I love this and these guys love this too. And I think this is the direction to go.
Yeah, that's when the dream started.
The dream started. Even when we started doing the cyphers at TS
Yeah. So, like, at what point did you think that you can do this hip hop thing, bro? Because now that I think about it, most of the people I know, you are like the glue, bro.
Yeah.
You are like the central point for most of us. You and Webster, actually.
Yeah.
You, Webster, and Butter. Yeah.
Butter was so the way he would come pick us up, like,
and connect everybody.
It doesn't matter where you are. He's coming to pick you up. He was so determined to have us in the booth, you know, and I feel like the first time was when I actually competed. Because, you know, when you rap by yourself, it's not really guaranteed that you are that good.
Yeah.
Until, like, you
need
face
to bounce it off someone, yeah.
So, like, when that time, former Hollywood City was called The Cage, there was a hip-hop burnout there.
Oh, snap.
That was the first place I met 5-4. B-Mac.
Shout out to 5-4, man. One of the pioneers of this hip-hop thing in this city, man. Definitely.
We had to battle it out with those guys. We did some freestyles and stuff like that. And that was the first time I actually knew that I need to step up. Like, you know, if you're doing your own 16s, you think you they're the hardest.
You fire alone in the room. There's a crowd cheering in your head.
Then you hear verbal 16 and you're like, what? You hear Dope G 16 and you're like, I've got some competition.
It's going
here.
down here.
Now I need to show up with some more bars, you know what I mean? Like, it was at this point that I felt like I need to do better. Because at the same time, being a rapper and being a recording artist, two different things.
Yeah.
You could spit a 16 like on the spot, but like in front of
there's no
metronome, no beat,
nothing.
nothing.
You know what I mean?
It's a different scenario. It's a totally different scenario. So at some point, the growth also came from, you know, competing, from all the freestyles we did in the streets. To getting into the booth and actually recording a verse.
What was that experience like for you? Like the first time when you had to do it on a beat?
Yeah, because I did try it out, you know, like where you set up by yourself in the bedroom. But, you know, the quality was never...
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
That microphone for performing, bro.
The one we used to hold like that. Yeah.
You hold it without moving. You know what I mean? It wasn't really the condenser microphone.
Yeah.
So, like, even after you do it there, when you go to the studio setup, the first time I went into a proper studio setup was with Elijah. Cooler Studios.
Yeah.
That was like in Olympia. Just right across from where Cheetah Lodge is.
Oh, snap. Yeah,
that place. It was the first time.
Oh, that used to be a studio?
Yeah, bro.
Snap, I had no idea. Okay.
That was a studio. I think it was just a little bit to the left. I think when they moved, they moved like to the next yard or something like that. They didn't really move far, but it was the first time I went into a studio setup, and it's an actual microphone for like spitting bars, and it's been soundproofed, so even the environment is a little different.
Were you successful? Because my first time,
I don't know,
Hey.
cause I actually did something with Cactus on that day,
Ooh.
and Cactus had been recording for a very long
Cactus
time.
is seasoned.
Yeah,
Like
that
breath
was the
control,
season,
delivery.
everything. So now I felt the pressure. Like, this is what you have to be like. You can't do multiple takes, because he was like a 1 take, 2 take kind
And
of
then
person.
it's done.
If he just doesn't like it, it'll be just himself saying, "No, I need to do that again." And it sounds perfect to you, who's just like there thinking, "Hey." So it was.
At least you got to see him. He kicked us out of the studio when he was recording.
Maybe he was just kind.
No,
bro.
he didn't
He
like
was
people
very-
in the booth with him, bro. Like, he would kick us out of the studio.
But you know, the fact that I got to hear him do something like in 1 take and it sounded so brilliant, I was thinking to myself, like, "Yeesh, how am I gonna do this?" Like, now it's a thing of not just sounding good on the microphone. It's about impressing the people that are around.
And back then, it used to be
Yeah.
like a couple
Like
of people
a couple
in the
of people
studio.
in the
with you. It's
studio.
not like
Yeah,
now where you
people
can
are just
control
like,
it.
"Who's this guy? Can he even rap?" You know, like it used to be something else, man. Like, that was my first experience, and I didn't know how good I did, frankly, because this is not something that we ended up dropping as a song.
Oh, okay.
But it was like, from there, I started learning that even the first time we asked Cactus to feature on a project, he didn't hesitate. So maybe that was a sign
Yeah, that
he
you
could
did a good job.
actually-
Yeah.
he could actually jump on something we're on. So it was pretty good. It was a good experience.
When would you say was the switch for you from like chasing the dream and then like the dream becoming
Becoming a
slightly
little-
more reality?
Yeah, around the time we met, what's his name? David Linyama, Uncle D.
Oh, Uncle D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Ish, I
Uncle
didn't
D.
even know his real name, bro. We just knew him as
we
Uncle
call
D.
him, it's just been Uncle
Yeah.
D, bro. Even I can't just call him David Linyama.
Yeah.
I still have to say Uncle
Uncle
D
D,
somewhere,
yeah.
you know. Uncle D was behind that very first Burnout where I performed. So they actually had some prizes.
No,
for
okay.
that.
Also, it was like a proper competition.
Proper
it was a thing.
competition. B-Mac won that.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Shout out B-Mac.
Yeah,
Shout out B-Mac.
yeah.
So
So
they don't know.
that was the top 3. So it was B-Mac, 5-4, and myself.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, then,
that sounds about right.
These guys had to battle each other, and they were from the same clique.
Oh, snap.
Imagine that.
How did that go?
It was crazy. It was the most amazing thing I have ever seen, bro. Because we were doing this thing right outside before we went in to actually do the thing. We were outside, you know, doing to my lines. And here's what's crazy: when we went on the inside, some of those lines were used.
Hey!
And imagine you're the one that spit that line, bro.
KStar,
And then I use it on-
apparently I'm glistening. So,
I might need me one of those. I'm
Do-
not
do-
glistening. I'm not glistening.
and just so you know, KStar, I'm not editing this out. I'm leaving it in, bro. And I'm saying we're authentic.
Yeah,
over
we're
here,
authentic,
unscripted.
bro. We're from the era of no makeup
Yeah.
during
I think-
video shoots.
I think production is trying to like embarrass me and show people that we don't have a makeup artist on set. You know what I mean? I'm working on it. Production.
no, we've always been G'd out.
Yeah,
you know,
they.
you know.
How-
Why about gangster na makeup?
Look now, we're using serviettes. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Production. Are we fine now?
Are we fine now?
Are we fine?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No, ladies and gentlemen, please don't comment about this. Keep it to yourself. Whatever it is you want to say, ish. So wait, now this competition that happened, bro. So you were third in it.
Yes, third.
So it came with a prize.
It came with prizes, bro. There were recording deals.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This was serious, man.
An actual DSTV decoder with the whole installation.
What?
Yeah, and 1 year subscription, if I'm not mistaken. It was like pretty good. Like for for young cats like that, like
this is back in the day,
super
bro.
young. Yeah, that was like, cause wait, yeah. So I was actually 17 years old.
Whoa! When you entered the competition,
Yeah, cause it was right at the end of the year. It was right at the end of 2005.
Snap!
Yeah. So imagine that. It was like, the year was coming to an end. It's very festive. But at the same time, you hear about this on radio, bro. And you're like, I don't know anybody there. Then you show up and you didn't audition the first time.
Oh,
So people have already been picked. So then you sneak in to the last 32. These are like picked out of like, they were like more than 100 rappers that auditioned. And they had these preliminaries at...
More than 100?
Yes, at Polo Grill. Then that place was called Polo Grill.
Wow.
Yeah, so then they picked the last 32, like these, we're down to 32. So we'll do the second part of this to have the last 16 that will come and be at the actual event.
The math is not mathing there, bro, because how many people get chopped out? You have to compete with over 100 people.
Yeah, and then after you're down to 32, they only pick half.
Yeah.
So now it was down to the last 16. So then I sneak into this 32 and make the number like odd, like 33. Like, why do we have 33 people? And then I didn't see you, and it's like this like the host of the entire thing. Like,
it's like who is like, he?
I didn't see you at the auditions. No, I was like, I was there. And, no, you went there. Mansa P, you know how Mansa P is like real like that. And I think he had just come back from the States that time. So even when he speaks, he was just like, nah, I didn't see you there. I was like, no, I was there. Nah, don't lie to me. You step over here, bring your over here and rap for us, man. You need to earn your spot to be part of these 32. And then that's how they put me on the spot, bro. So I had to actually spit bars just so they can be sure. Yes, bro. So you know how you wanna really sound like you've got bars. Yeah. So you even like mix it up. Like you're punching in to my written things while freestyling. And it was crazy, bro. Like the rap was so good that I had the other guys now come up to me. Yo, that was dope. So where you from? You know, like now they're like greeting you.
So you earned
like,
your spot.
Yeah, like
from sneaking in.
That's how I earned my spot. This is a true story, bro. That's how I made it to the last 16.
Sheesh.
This is how I met all these cats, bro. B-Mac, 5'4". There was a bunch of Caesar Cognac. Blackjack, KV, there was a bunch of names. Double M, there was a bunch of names. I remember there was a bunch of names.
So like this was a big deal.
It was big. It was like, it was the first, if I think the only other thing I heard before that was that Rap for a Million thing. But I wasn't around for that. I think I was still in the Copper Belt or something like that.
Okay.
So this was like the biggest thing for me, like, from high school straight into something that like it's a hip hop competition. So I know what the rules are. Like I'm getting the rules right there at the event. They tell you, oh, this is what you're gonna do. Round 1 will be you spitting on a beat of your choice. Ooh. So you do if it's a 16 or whatever.
So they wanna see if the studio time is gonna be worth it.
The studio time is gonna be worth it. Then from there we went into straight up freestyles. No. First the battles. Like, so they pair you up after you're down to the last 8.
Can any your battle now?
It's crazy, bro.
Can your battle? You don't know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to yo. Can you
These guys don't know where we came from, bro.
I was like, can you battle? Can you fight with the mic?
With the mic? It's something else, bro. Like, it was the biggest event for me at that time, and I was nervous, but at the same time, I really wanted to to prove myself. Like, okay, Lusaka has a bunch of real rap.
This street cred was like a
Yeah,
big
it was a
thing.
big
like,
thing. Like,
you need to be that guy.
if you spit like a 16 in the street and ons are like,
then you know.
then you know that, yeah,
I've got something.
it was something, bro. I remember I was wearing a Stone Cold t-shirt.
Oh, snap.
It had what?
Yeah.
Just what? And then at the back it had the scowl and the 316.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that night, bro. I actually had to like sneak out of where I was staying because this event was starting at around 18:30.
Oh.
Yeah. And you know, curfew was a big deal back then.
So this was like a full on experience for you.
Experience, bro. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to sleep out. I'm gonna have to sleep out. It was an extraordinary event, bro. It was the first time I met Cactus. I met all these guys. These guys were not even in the competition, but they were there.
But they were there.
Yeah, it was like, it was real. Like, you know, that's what made me realize that hip hop has got this huge following. It's got this
there's people who
huge-
believe in it out
Yeah,
there.
they believe in it. As much as you may think that Cactus is a dancehall artist, he's also got a lot of hip hop influence in him.
The first time I
he
heard
can
him rap, I was confused.
You see, you get confused,
was
and
like,
now
what's
you
happening?
start thinking, there's a bunch of us, and these are seasoned peeps, bro. When we met Cactus, you know how seasoned he was, just
Superstar.
from performances, like live performances. Bro.
Flowers to Cactus, man. Flowers to Cactus because he was like the big homie
He
for
was
a lot of
big
us,
homie for a lot of us.
Because I remember he taught us the importance of like live performances, breath control,
a lot of that stuff, stage presence. We didn't have none of that. We were just like, if I wear baggy jeans and, you know, a t-shirt down to my knees, I'm good, you know.
Everything is done.
I just need to sug so much, you know, I'm sagging.
Starter bag.
Starter
Choke
pack,
the jeans
bro.
with a tight belt.
With a tight belt. And we thought that was it. So and the first thing I saw when I saw Mag 44 doing something on movie TV.
Oh yeah, it was on TV at the time.
Yeah, I don't know what they called it, but what was it called? Sizzle.
Yeah.
So they had like two people rap it out. It wasn't so direct, like this and the other person, but you just do like a 16. It could be written. The other person does a 16, and then they pick one of you.
Who was the better one?
Who was the better one? So that was the first thing I saw. When I saw that, I'm like, how do I make it to here? Where is movie TV? Like, you know, stuff was not accessible so much at that time. No smartphones, no locations. It was just like, so where is movie TV? Like, you just have to ask somebody and they'll tell you, somewhere around Unza. You don't even know exactly where it is. So when this burnout came, there was a radio ad. That was the first time I heard about it. And I was like, why haven't I heard about this? Let me just go to the cage and see if not too late.
You were just a one. You were a loose cannon. You just throw yourself in places you're not supposed to be in.
Yeah, bro.
Do you know what's an invitation, KStar?
Yeah.
Do you know invitation?
Even up to now, I don't. I wasn't even invited here. I just heard verbal in somewhere close, you know, in the neighborhood.
Then you just
I was like, we're podcasting.
One way or another.
One way or another. We are doing it.
So now, bro, like with everything that you were going through during that time, did you have any, because I know, when would you say was the first time when you started getting like, let's say local attention and then it started growing like
The
to a
little
national
bit of
level?
attention, yeah.
Like when you started blowing up.
So I had this one song. So the song blew up, but I did not. So there's like, you see where the difference is. Like this song was done around Valentine's, and it was like a lovey-dovey song. Goes something like, I would do anything just to see you smile. So like this song like just blew up. Then people were like, so have you heard this song? Have you heard this song? Everybody
And
was
they didn't
talking
know
about
that was
the song,
you.
but they didn't know it was me. So basically, at this point, I was not really a household name or anybody out there. Oh, have you seen? Until after the burnout, but I was just known to the rappers. So fellow rappers, like
fellow
the
rappers,
circle
the
of
respect
people
was there.
that Then when we did this song, I got a little bit of, just a little bit of popularity, but it was not enough until we did like an entire project with Uncle D and Chris Puta under Exposed Natives. That's what they called the project. So when we did that project, we didn't officially launch the album due to a lot going on. There was the Diplomat. He was also part of the last 16 at that burnout.
Oh, okay.
And he was a Pitch Black homie as well. Yeah, because it was 5-4, B-Mac, Carnage,
and Diplomat.
Yes. So Diplomat, myself, and Camstar ended up doing like an entire album.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know how that worked out because that was initially supposed to be B-Mac's slot. Because remember, he was champion.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it was basically 5-4, B-Mac and myself. Yes. So that was the hierarchy. So full album goes to B-Mac, maybe a few features from 5-4 and myself. That was the hierarchy there, but it didn't work out like that. So we ended up being the three people that were available most of the time. Because I still remember 5-4 was at university at that time. So availability, just how it was, man. Like back then, like just being under your parents.
Yeah, there's rules. You can't just move around how you want.
So, but when we did that project, it didn't officially drop, but we were performing. Because Uncle D followed up with a bunch of shows.
He was passionate about this thing, yeah?
Yeah, he was really passionate. He was actually the only person pulling off those shows at that time. Yeah, because it was off that Brio recognized me and he called me up for his remix for Get Money.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. Because I thought he just doesn't even know. Because I saw this video on TV and I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Get Money.
Didn't Brio used to, wasn't he one of the first to be dropping music videos?
Yeah, dropping music videos. Yeah. It was just him and possibly Crisis at that time. Those are the people that were dropping actual videos. There was also one other guy. I don't know if it was Bullo Man or... I'm not so sure about.
Hey, we've got a hip hop discography here, bro. KStar is dropping vowels on you.
That's why Drex has a lot of information and Fanatic, because those guys helped us. Bro.
Yeah.
Helped
shout
us
out Fanatic, shout out Drex,
shout out because I remember Zone Fam and 2-1. Just became popular.
Yeah.
Off radio play.
Yeah, the show that he was running.
Yeah. It took us some time to actually have video.
When did KStar become a household name?
I feel like after we started dropping the videos and switched up our lyrics.
Yeah.
When we started incorporating some vernacular around that time. Because remember, I think the first song I ever did, I remember Villa Elizabetha. That place was called Unique Studios, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Hey, it was
the first
far,
time
bro.
I had to,
used to work,
right?
It was far.
I had to ask the whole star about it. Like, what do you think about me doing something in vernacular? Cause I'm not that fluent with Nyanja, but when you're rapping it out, it doesn't really sound like you can speak it. But when you speak, it's a different thing. That was the first time I did something with Cashro. He had an afro.
Yeah, I remember that.
He didn't have dreads.
The dreads that he has now. Yeah.
Was not always. He wasn't born with dreads. Come on. He had an afro, and he made me this song called Nakana. So it ended up being called Nakana because it was 70% vernacular. Right after that, I had you guys Critic, Critic did something with Exile called Holiday.
Oh yeah.
And then you guys also had a song with a vernacular
which one was that?
Phrase. Mabotela.
Oh, Mabotela. Yeah, Mabotela.
Yeah, you see, that was a local. It's not Zambian. It's a South African word, right?
Yeah,
but it showed that we were not just doing stuff in English. So when you guys followed up with those things, it just became the
norm.
The norm, you know, like. Then we did a song with Webster, and I didn't even rap on that song because I didn't show up. It was called Nixes.
Why didn't you show up?
I don't know where I went, bro.
So
there was a Guza involved. There was a Guza involved somewhere, bro. I didn't show up to that session. The ones decided that we just finished the song without this. And we had like a bunch of those follow up. I don't know what other song you guys had done.
It might have been Shaka Zulu on them because
Shaka Zulu after Mabotela.
Yeah, it was.
Then it was.
I'm not sure if it was before or after, but
it could be. But
that was a transition.
But the trend, all of us like started transitioning at that point, right? So I felt like then we slowly started becoming names that people could bring up when they talk about hip hop.
Yeah.
Because straight up, Slap D was doing like straight up vernac.
Yeah. And
he was the only one. Yeah.
And no one was merging into that.
Yeah. So like at that point, slowly, until the point we actually had some videos. The first video I had Marv and Critic on it, if I'm not mistaken. It was called Mwine Fidim.
Yeah.
Then after that, we had Bosa Tumfwe.
Yeah.
And you guys also had
I think
Mbama.
Yeah, that was
it Mbama first?
Yeah.
I remember all this because it was like a transition.
So
like
our come up was your come up as well.
We were just basically just. Then we just became household names. Like at some point, if they're not talking about Zone Fam, they're talking about 2-1.
Yeah.
If they're not talking about 2-1, they're talking about Zone Fam. At some point at this time, a lot of these other cats and groups that were also like hip hop had like
that
dumb it down and calm down. Some of them were maybe in informal employment. Who knows, you know? Yeah, but at this point was when I really became a household name. Like where somebody would actually recognize you and say, hey, KStar. I remember Boogie C was like, you're a KStar, you know? May his soul rest in peace.
And for you, I'm sure that
Mag
was like
44, Mag 44. And then it was just like a good transition. And when we did the cypher, we used to have like a reasonable crowd, bro.
Not even reasonable, even underplaying it. It was packed over there, bro.
It was packed over there. When you spit your 16, Tim spits his 16. I spit my 16, Myth. Like when we're doing those, that same crowd, I think, would go and put the word out. They would say, verbal is dope. They would go say, critic is dope. They'd go say, Steezy is dope. KStar is dope. There was a point, and then when you get like some minimal radio play, I know some important. People was behind it, but
I'm curious, bro. With all the success that you achieved musically, when did you, or what took you in a different path? Because I remember, like, before you started doing what you do now, you went into poetry, right? With bittersweet. Bittersweet poetry.
Yeah. Do you think this question is like financially?
It's
like when I was like,
bro.
Making some money off the stuff that we love to do. Which one is it?
How do you want to?
No, we used to spend a lot to get that stuff out there.
Yeah.
Bro, we were not reaping so much. Off the rap, but we did all this stuff out of passion.
Out of passion for it.
I remember how you guys would, it took the holster to
we used to make
a whole booth.
Yeah, we bothered that man, bro. Yeah, we bothered that
booth.
man. Dog.
Next thing I know, Roxa had
the booth as well.
Avondale. Yeah, like you see, like we were investing in stuff we were not ripping from.
Yeah.
It took a while for us to really make money off that. I think the only time I ever got an endorsement, bro, was after we had dropped that song with Mbototo, I'm a Black. Around 2010, 2011. Yeah. Jamil Banda shot that.
Oh, snap. Yeah.
And right after, we got an endorsement from a company. It wasn't like the best of endorsements, but anything goes at this point. You know, it's
we just want the money.
But you just want some money.
Give us the money.
You're gonna give us. It's only money that we want. You're gonna give us? Yeah, so it was basically around that time that we got our first endorsement. And we felt like putting out songs might just, you know, putting out more commercial stuff.
So for you, financially is the reason why you transitioned into
that was major reason. Yeah, it's made me start giving equal attention to both things. Like if I'm a rapper, obviously I'm supposed to dedicate, because rap is now a lifestyle.
Yeah,
you know? We can't even call it a part-time thing.
Nah.
It's a lifestyle, bro. We used to live that life.
We still do, bro.
We still do, right?
Yeah, we still do.
So like it's basically when I started going to gigs where they're like, we'll pay you for this or we'll provide your transportation. You know, it became different. Like we were not so used to that. And around the time I started doing poetry was around the first time I started getting paid for what I do, you know? And I just literally took my rap into poetry.
Yeah, into poetry.
I wasn't really a poet, you know? Ludo, Luca, R.I.P.
Yo,
those guys.
The bittersweet sessions.
Yeah, those guys were
fire. They were really
crazy,
dope.
Bro.
They were really dope. Yeah.
They were real poets, and I was just intruding
again.
KStar
was not invited somewhere, and he squeezed his way in again. So this is you, bro.
I just took my rap into poetry, and around that time, yes, I did start getting paid because you'd have like the African Bank come through, and then like, can you have like a male and a female present this like in a poetic way? And that's when I really started writing poetry.
Yeah.
Like now you have a theme. They've given you like a theme. Like, okay, we're talking about global warming. And then you actually
basically,
script. And then when I did stand-up comedy, the first time I had my own show, like I'm like the only person, like
headliner. Like it's your show.
Headliner. I had Abo Chungu as my supporting act and critic. Who else? I think Kapembwa was with stand-up comedy.
So that's the first time you headlined your own gig?
That was the first time I headlined anything, bro, at Bittersweet.
Whoa.
And Abo was like, I'm going to support this because I'm also into comedy. And Abo supported, critics supported. I had all these guys do sets. And
that was a big show, bro.
It was a big show, was insane. Bro. It was at Fulungushi International Conference Center.
And you filled up the venue.
Yeah, bro. And I'm thinking to myself, I could actually do stand-up comedy, huh? And you know how this whole transition, again, I was intruding because on this specific day, bro. On this specific day, Mag 44 had invited me to church. I think it was Praise Power or something like that.
I'll say shout out Mag 44, but I'm still mad at you, bro. You know why, dog? We've got beef.
He recorded a couple of my first songs, bro. Like I remember his setup was also a bedroom studio, but we used to have like tough beats right there. Like,
hey, Mag was always been amazing production-wise,
Mag 44 has
always been that monster.
Actually, that's how I met Critic.
Okay.
Because I went to his studio. Then he played me, oh, listen, there's this cat that recorded this. And then I'm like, who's this? Can you please give me his line? And he had gone back to Ndola, and that's how I called him back to come.
And that's how you guys' brotherhood started?
Yeah, just
these
like
two
that.
Are inseparable, bro. Like, these two are inseparable. You know what I mean? Inseparable. You know when I had him on the board, I thought
all of us, bro.
I thought you nearby as well.
You know how hip hop brought all of us together, bro.
Yeah, create some nice brotherhoods.
On the first project we ever did, as I don't know if I could call it So Good, but that time it was Webster and A plus and
that small
and
little
Thaga.
room.
Yeah. When they engineered that entire project,
that's the first
when they
time.
had me, Novocaine, and
I think you're with Dope, wasn't it?
I brought Tim first, and then Critic as well. And then they heard you guys.
Yeah.
And they were like, we want Verbal. We want. If you remember, the song list wasn't Zone
Yeah,
Fam.
it wasn't Zone
It
Fam.
was
Yeah, we were spread out.
featuring
Yeah.
J-Rocks.
Yeah.
Over here, it was featuring Verbal.
I think I was still Verbal Assassin at that time,
Verbal
bro.
Assassin, bro. Never forgotten.
Oh, snap.
I will pull up that track list someday.
Hey,
you know,
please do,
and
bro.
share it. Yeah, I remember that.
You know what, yo,
Bro, we've been through it.
Small, but
small,
you can't survive.
Yeah.
Now, bro, so you've done so much now. So I don't know if people know. And for me, it was crazy when I found out. Like, I'm watching Date My Family.
Yeah.
So back then, it was a South African one that I knew, right? And then I found out that there's a Zambian version
one,
because I was in SA at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let me check out, like, you see what's
The
happening.
Zambian.
Then I heard the voice. I'm like, ay, man.
This is
I'm
someone
like,
I've rocked
man.
with.
Like, I know this voice. And my kid brothers ask me, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, man, like the voice in the background. Do people know that that's you who voices Date My Family?
Some people do, and some people confuse me and Kachinga. Because we have...
Okay.
I don't know if we do have similar voices. Not to you, though.
Yeah.
But for most people that have not hung out with...
They hear similarities.
Yeah, they hear similarities and they ask, is that Kachinga or you? Then I'm like, that's Kachinga. And they're like, see, I told you. They turn away to their friend and like, let's debate.
Let me ask you this, KStar. So when you went into voiceovers, did you go somewhere uninvited again?
Again, yes, I remember. I did a lot of uninvited visits. Yeah, basically, yeah. Because even that question you asked me, I don't know why I left it hanging, but back to it. The first time I did stand-up comedy, I had just forgotten to memorize my poem. So, you know, you can freestyle. You can
improvising.
You can. I was trying to improvise, but then I was like, I can't remember that poem. I didn't have the time. I was with Mag at church.
Yeah.
And I needed to do something at church as well. So I focused on memorizing what I was doing with
church,
Mag. Yeah. At church. That when it was time to go to Bittersweet in the evening, I didn't know a word of the poem I had written. And so I ended up just talking for 5 minutes, bro. And
Well,
that
you're
was
telling
the
jokes.
stand-up.
That's how you started doing
That was the
stand-up?
birth, yes. And people were like, what was that you just did? You know, like, should we make like an entire poetry show dedicated to stand-up
like that?
comedy? Yeah, just like that, bro. Uninvited.
And then now, next thing, you're flying to Dubai to do
Next thing
shows.
you know, yeah, bro. And next thing, you know, voiceover, ad. And this time around, maybe they want you in it. You know,
Yeah.
remember the Mossy ad that I came to do in SA as well?
Yeah.
Cape
I remember
Town.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was just from basically, okay, this voice could work, you know?
Yeah, I went to the auditions and I was like, I'm like,
Bro, that day I didn't even
not doing
sleep.
it.
Bro.
Yeah, because
And when I found you guys, I was demoralized. I was like, there's nothing we're going to do
people,
here.
bro. I was going as moral support.
I
Then they're
remember
like,
we had
Bobo, you should. I was
Chef
like,
187
no, yeah, I
there.
was like,
You were there.
I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Tim. We had
Dope was
B-Mac,
there,
Dope
B-Mac,
was there.
everyone was there,
I was like,
bro.
why am I here? I wanted to turn back. I wanted to turn back, bro. I was like,
What would you say is your most favorite thing? Because like the beauty is everything that you find yourself in
Yeah.
stuff that you love.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your most favorite, or the most enjoyable one that you're doing? Because you're doing all of this at the same time now, isn't it?
Yeah, because basically hip hop has been my first love, bro. Hip hop is number one, I would say. But when I experienced
Album nyana, mixtape nyana, KStar, little something.
when I experienced the voiceover part of life, it's really very interesting too, because it landed me a voiceover of a cartoon character.
Oh yeah.
So you see, that was very new to me. I got excited because I grew up watching cartoons.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing like a
You
voice.
get to voice.
Yeah, like
Is this
it
for
was
like
so
a
big.
series, movie?
Yeah. Super Team 4. So this is like on
You on that?
Yeah. And I had to sound like
Donna.
a kid.
Hey, Donna, shout out. How?
It was it was a really new experience, really, really new. And I had to voice and not sound like myself. So that was something else. It was a challenge. But I was like, can I handle this? I think I can.
Toughest moment in your career?
Toughest moment. Let's see. Would have to be the stand-up. Because these shows used to be packed, bro.
Yeah, the Mlungu
And I remember, the equipment failing on me. And you know, when people have come to laugh, bro, they're not kind. You see, make us laugh or else. I was, I think, a second away from a tomato, like a rotten potato. Yeah, because the equipment failed me. My entire set was based on a projector.
Oh no!
Like when a picture pops up,
projector gone.
then I say yes, then it failed, bro. Like for a good 3 to 5 minutes, bro. It's just failing. When I look back,
It's still not
the
on.
picture's not there, bro. And then it ruins my entire set. But here's what I did. I still went back on stage and said, it's unfortunate that I couldn't do the stand-up material I prepared for you due to unforeseen circumstances. But I won't leave this stage until I make you laugh. And I just did different content.
So you were
I went
freestyling again.
freestyle, yeah.
One of the best in the city, by the way. You don't even know when it comes to freestyles. I'll say I'll put myself there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Because you were already freestyling.
Yeah, because we had a cheat code.
Yeah, you had.
Since we were young, I had a cheat code. We were freestyling from the streets.
I was like,
you know what mean?
I just seen what he did there.
Yeah.
I think I could do that
Besides
too.
me and you,
There was,
Tick.
Yeah,
I'll
Tick.
put Tick there.
Yeah. Tick learned a little later.
Yeah.
He learned from me because we were staying together.
Yeah.
But he became super good at it because we started doing that prop thing.
Now he doesn't want to stop.
The word thing, like we
that's all
throw
he
each
does.
other words.
Yeah.
I once did that with you.
Yeah, we did.
At KStar.
TS.
Yeah.
We went for like a good 15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
So like basically, I think Tick, good freestyler. Who else do I, off the top of my head? There was an old cat who we all learned from. He was called Ryan C.
Oh, okay.
The architect.
Oh, I heard I heard the name.
This guy was just straight up freestyle, bro.
Nothing
He
else.
never used to write.
Just freestyle.
And I lost it. I was like, people can freestyle like this.
It's such a lost art now. Such a lost art.
It's gone, bro. When people call it a freestyle, it's usually
It's a written
written
and you memorized
verse,
it.
but you memorized it. Yeah. Off the top, I don't think there's many cats
no.
that can.
We're
I
dying
don't
breed.
think so.
Based on that, the proudest moment in your career.
The proudest moment in my career, I think, was when I got a song #1 on the charts. When that Vitumbua song came out, it was around the same time we were also playing in the Africa Cup, and then we won.
Yeah.
Then I got back-to-back gigs.
Yeah.
Like, please come and perform your song after we beat Ivory Coast. So
Yeah.
even the day Ivory Coast was playing Zambia.
Video Boy was your biggest record, yes?
That was the biggest record around that. First, it was the one with Ama Blacks.
Ama Blacks, yeah.
The Mbototo one.
Yeah.
Then after that, then we followed up with that song, and then it just blew up. Like, it was crazy. Like, I would go to Ndola, and my mom knows the song, like she's heard something. And my mom was one person that, like, she's not around those hip hop circles. She doesn't know anything.
You know a song is big when your mom,
your mother
your parent pops
has
up,
an idea that you have something to do with that song.
Snap.
And my mom was like, so these are your friends or what? Or is you?
That video
like,
was unhinged. Oh my goodness. The video was chaotic. Video was chaotic.
Kenny Rock, bro.
Yeah, madness.
Kenny Rock.
That video was fire.
Shout out to those guys. Tommy Banda.
Check that video. Check that video. Yeah, check that video. If there's one thing you could change from all these different experiences you've had, what would it be?
I wish I had never slowed down on the hip hop.
On the hip hop.
Yeah, if I continued, like how now we have streaming platforms like cyphers just changed. People came back to rap in English.
Album mixtape,
bro.
Because I know you.
I just feel like we should. We've got it, but don't you think the absence kind of slowed things down?
You see, even your own body's trying to shut you up because you're talking like, nonsense now. No, there's no such. We
were on a roll, you guys.
Yeah, okay, but the thing is, I feel like now it's more reason for you to put out content because we come from a different school of thought, bro. We were trained different.
Yeah. And our parents did not approve.
You know, like
why are you going to rap? Rap for what?
We were on the streets, bro. Like literally, we were on the streets. So our hunger is different, bro. Our hunger is different. I feel like
different.
A KStar verse now, I can put it up against some of the best verses that are out now. And this is old material.
Appreciate that.
So I can only imagine what the new stuff is going to sound like.
It's going to sound like, yeah.
Even if it's just for us, you have to put out a project, bro.
I still do regret, bro.
Since it's a regret, do something about it, bro.
I'm doing something about it. I'm doing something about it.
In the comments there, y'all gotta help me out, bro. Y'all gotta help me out. Can we force this man to drop something?
I need to drop something with you guys. I need you guys back. All of you.
Hey, man.
There should be a featuring verbal assassin.
I'm the host. You don't throw fire my way.
Young verbal.
I am the host.
Are you still young? Let's young it.
Respect in my house. I'll get you evicted.
Do some daddy buzz.
The security in Granddaddy's here. Don't play with me, KStar. I'll get you thrown out, bro.
I need some features. I need 5-4 back. I need Dope G back. Bro. I need Rocks are back. I need everybody. It would be nice because we are from that era.
Exactly. We're from a different school of thought.
To go up against that.
Help me out in the comments, guys. Help me out in the comments. Like, let's put pressure on KStar to make something happen.
August, I'm gonna have something for you guys.
Hey, exclusive.
And every month has a new single.
Oh,
right now we have the best liapa alive.
Oh, come
these guys who know my real name know that I'm the best liapa
the best
alive.
The best.
So basically from this, there's something coming out this month, next month, all the way till August.
Exclusive.
When we have a...
You haven't said it anywhere
else,
right?
I never told anyone.
Aye, come on. Come on, exclusive.
Not even the people I live with know.
Aye.
Even the producer is just making songs. He doesn't know that.
I'm sorry, people. The cat is out of the bag. It is what it is. If I was to give you a chance now to give everyone there watching who's seeing you for the first time, right? Let's say on the South African side of things, or anyone on the continent, what would your closing remarks be? What would you want them to know about KStar?
Look out for the biggest entertainer coming out of Africa.
Come on.
So I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I feel like I'm gonna keep doing this till I'm unalived.
Till the wheels fall off.
Till the wheels fall off. So I don't care if it's at 60 years old and you see me somewhere, or you hear my song in a Marvel movie. I don't know where the break will come from, but it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
This guy says
Remember my words.
One of the most successful people I know talking about the break. The break. KStar, bro, it's good to see you, fam.
Yeah.
So I do this. I do this when I've got people on the pod who I feel like Africa in general is very unkind to its creatives.
Yeah.
So I always make sure when I have people who I look up to and people who are favorites to me on the pod, I make sure I give them their flowers. You know what I mean, bro?
Thank you.
If it wasn't for you, there would be no Zone Fam. You feel me? You were integral part of that. I appreciate you for everything you've done, not only for me as an artist, but everything you've done for the music space, bro. Entertainment in general. What you're doing in voiceovers, the acting, the comedy. I'm giving you your flowers, my G. You're one of the pioneers. Respect to you, bro.
Respect to you. Because you guys were like right up there keeping us on our toes.
Yes,
we knew that we were going to find these guys somewhere. Where
you feel me? See?
Respect to you guys. Respect to the whole star. Respect to J Rocks, Dope, Tim, all you guys, everybody, bro. Because you guys were like right up there with us and you supported. It's not over. And we're still going.
You feel me?
This platform right here.
You feel me?
Is perfect.
One way or another.
It's perfect.
We don't know what they're bringing.
Someone didn't know me. They've known me through your podcast.
You feel me? You feel me? Shout out for the comments, mom. We're exposing. We're exposing. What a better way to close it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Pod House. You already know what it is. It's your boy Young. I'm still chilling out here at Granddaddy's. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Catch me on the next pod, next location. I don't know where we're going to go next. We'll ask you guys and you hit us in the comments. From me and my man KStar, and I'm saying nothing but love. And by the way, special shout out to my man Tony the Goon, making sure that the boys are refreshed and taken care of while we're out here. You know what I mean? He's made me a believer in Granddaddies. Granddaddies, you've hired the right person. I'm impressed. I am impressed. Till the next one. Peace.